What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Spurs have beaten Bodo Glimt by 3-1 in the semi-final first leg. What I gotta say, first and foremost, what an unbelievable day it's been here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The atmosphere has just been absolutely incredible. You could just sense as soon as you hit the high road, it was an unbelievably big night for Tottenham Hotspur today. And I gotta say, this is probably the best the fans have been since moving into this stadium.
Yeah.
Flags and bags everywhere across the stadium, non-stop singing.
Great tifo.
Great tifo, the sense of occasion, and just, it was just mobbed. Ever since you get into like the vicinity of the stadium, you get up, walk up the stairs of Park Lane in the little bit outside the Park Lane, it's absolutely mobbed. You get into the stadium, you literally can't move, and everyone is just singing at the top of their lungs. So big up to the Tottenham Hotspur fans today for creating such an atmosphere.
Yeah,
and look, I think big up to the team first and foremost as well, because we played well. We played them off the park. That's the reality.
Yeah, first of all, in terms of the fans, you know, they heard maybe all the fan channels, especially our fan channel, were giving a call to arms in terms of everyone get behind the team, everyone bring their A game for this one fan-wise, and they definitely did that. I think before the game, I've never seen it before the game like that before. I think since we've been to the stadium, it was absolutely mobbed. It was absolutely party scenes. It was absolutely party scenes in the stadium.
Guys,
Thank you.
follow you guys.
Cheers. There you go, exciting.
Bloody Spurs.
Come on. It was absolutely party scenes before the game, songs for Dele Alli on the way to Bilbao. It was unbelievable atmosphere, it really was special. And then before the game as well, in the stadium, once the team came out, it was electric. It was absolutely electric, and everyone was at the top of their voice. It was non-stop. And I think the team followed suit. I think they kind of played off that atmosphere.
Stood up for 40 seconds.
Exactly, and it was like the perfect start. You're thinking, wow, this is going to be easy. And I think we controlled the game pretty much from that point. I think Bodo really struggled to do much in this game. And for a side who, yes, away from home are not the best, but they still, you know, go forward, they create chances, they cause you problems. I thought we just had them on lock. I thought we squeezed them. At times they dominated possession. I thought we just dealt with it like really well. We didn't panic. We didn't open gaps. We just made sure we defended properly. When we were off the ball, it was very much like Frankfurt away, like very much defending resolutely, and everyone doing their jobs. And on the ball, look, I think we were looking creative. Probably could have done a bit more. But look, we created good chances. We found ourselves 2-0 up at half-time, 2 good goals. And I think, obviously, we didn't mention the lineup. It was a massive surprise seeing Rishi, Basuma.
Threw a bit of a curveball there, didn't it?
It did, but I think in the first half it kind of worked. You know, Rishi got the assist. Basuma was having a great game. And I thought, in that first half, we thought the changes for Ange kind of paid off in that first half. We went 2-0 up, and we were well in control at half-time. Everyone had a massive smile on their face after the break.
Yeah, look, everyone thought we were going to kick on from there, win 4, 5, 6-0. And the reality is that's what the game should be. That's what the tie should be. We should have put this game to bed, and now we've kind of left it with a little bit of a question mark against its name. 3-1, you know, you've got to be happy with taking 3-1, and you know, you put yourself in a very commanding position, but it should have been a lot more than that, and the game should have been won tonight, in my opinion.
I agree, obviously, especially when he goes 3-0 on the hour mark. Solanke sticks that penalty away, unbelievable composure, nonchalantly just rolls into the other side of the goal. He's becoming a very composed penalty taker for us. I want to see him take more. But at 3-0, we had them on the ropes. Well, I was saying it in the vlog, we absolutely had them in the palm of our hand. We had chances to make it 4. Decky comes on the pitch, he had chances, Doggy had chances to put the game to bed.
The Doggy one pissed me off, man, because he's at such a tight angle. All he needs to do is cut it back. There are about 2 men in the box. All he needs to do is cut it back, and that's it. It's game, set, and match. And
at that point, you're thinking 3-0, everyone's in jubilant mood. The game is probably as dominant as you could have hoped. Even 3-0, you know, if you end the game 3-0, you're pretty happy with that 3-goal advantage. But obviously, if you make it 4 and 5, that puts the game beyond down. You're thinking of Bilbao already. And that is what should have been at that point in time, because Bodo really didn't threaten us whatsoever. I can't remember a single chance they had. I'm pretty sure they scored their goal with their first shot on target.
Their only shot on target.
The only shot on target. It completely against run of play. It was just out of nothing, and that's the most frustrating thing. You're looking at after the game, the fans just look a bit deflated. It kind of silenced the crowd, to be honest, when they scored. Obviously there's a few fans trying to G up the players to try and go for a 4 and make it 4-1, but everyone kind of sensed at 3-1 this tie is far from over.
That's a massive goal for Bodo. Don't get it twisted. It's a massive goal for Bodo, and literally 70% of the day today was just incredible. In those last 20 minutes, we needed to go for their throats, and we needed to be clinical, and we needed to put the game to bed. And that game's a sucker punch, really. Poor defensive work from Tottenham. really poor.
Deflection as well, so frustrating.
Like I said, the game should have been home and hose. We should be, already. I know we've already booked, but I was saying the rest of the fans should be booking their flights to Bilbao. But now we go to the second leg where they're going to fancy their chances. They're going to put us under a lot of pressure, and we're going to see how strong this team is.
Absolutely, and that's the most frustrating thing. We've given them something that I think we had taken away from them in this game, and with that goal, it's just given it back, and that's belief. Yeah. Because you saw at the end of the game, they looked happy with that result. And to be honest, it's something they've been doing all tournament. They've kind of just hang in there away from home. Even Lazio, they were 3-0 down and they just got that goal to keep them in it. Against Twente and Olympiacos, losing, and they get that goal to keep them in it. And then they go to their home games and they absolutely batter them. They have all the belief in the world. They can overturn anything, or they can get anyone they need to. And at 3-0, I think the belief wouldn't have been as strong. But at 3-1, all of a sudden the goal deficit's only 2, and they've beaten teams by bigger margins already this season. So I think they're going to have full belief going to their ground, especially with the conditions, especially with their home form, that they can win this tie. And that's the worrying thing. This game should be dead and buried, and we've given them belief again.
Yeah. Last orders at the bar, everyone, if anyone wants one. But yeah, look, 3-1. At the end of the day, 3-1. You put yourself in a commanding position for the second leg.
Yeah.
And we're massive favourites. Last orders, anyone? And we're massive favourites, right, for this second leg. We're massive favourites to go to Bilbao now. So as much as that last goal was a sucker punch, we're still in an extremely strong position. And we need to make that count out in Bilbao, out in Bodo. And if we have a similar performance like we did away at Frankfurt, I have no doubt we're going to do it.
Yeah, we just got to go there that we're knowing that how the first 75 minutes today went, how dominant we were, how in control we were, how we had them on the end of a string. Essentially, we were controlling this game. We could have scored should have scored a lot more goals. They didn't really have anything. And if we can defend in Bodo like we did today, we should be okay, and we should be able to get through. And yes, 3-1.
You're going to see a different Bodo second leg for sure.
That's the problem.
Because they're going to have players back as well.
Have players back,
because this was such an opportunity for us, under strength Bodo side, at home, first leg, you've got to put the game beyond doubt. You have to.
And that's the massive disappointment. I think 3-1 on the face of it is not a bad scoreline, it's not a bad result, but in the context of the game, we had it. We had the final in sight, and we've just given them a route back in, and we've creaked the door back open, and now Bodo will go into the next leg thinking, we got that goal late on, and it's written for them. That's what they're going to believe. We've given them that belief back, and that is
time to take away that belief and go and, as heavy favourites of this leg, go and do the business out in Norway.
How do you approach the game? Do you approach it like just try and hang on?
You got to get the first goal, I think.
You just all go for the first goal, trying to win the game.
Yeah, I think so. Try win the game, but you got to make bloody sure that you're solid at the back as well. You can't do anything but that.
In terms of some individuals.
There's only one player to talk about right now, and that is Rodrigo Bentancur, because I thought he ran the game in that middle of the park. He was our conductor today. He was so aggressive in the middle of the park. He was winning pretty much every duel and driving us forward as well. I thought Bentancur put in an absolutely fantastic display. And also Pedro Porro, those two, the ones that really stood out for me. 2 of the goals that we scored come from unbelievable Pedro Porro crosses. That ball, man,
phenomenal for Maddison.
Unbelievable for James Maddison. Unbelievable.
Yeah, phenomenal. I think those 2 were the standouts, 100%. Obviously, Bentancur continuing some really strong showings in Europa League. I thought Porro's in great form as well, and I think he showed that tonight. Some other good mentions. I think Romero had a great game, and obviously winning the penalty as well. And I thought Basuma stepped in and did pretty well. So credit to him on a big night. Having him and Bentancur together, you would have thought, is that a great decision? But I thought it kind of worked, and we kind of made sure that Bodo was stifled. And I think maybe that was the thinking behind it. Maybe, obviously, Bergvall, we know he's injured now.
Miss for us,
he's in a protective boot today, so it looks like it could be not great for him, which is a massive blow. And
rumours of Bergvall and Sonny both out for the season.
Yeah, which is not great. Maybe if we get to Bilbao, they can make a late return, but obviously it's not great. It's a bit of a massive blow, especially Bergvall, the form he's in, and Sonny being the captain. That's not great news off the back of this result. But look, we go into Bodo with all the belief that we can make it through. It's just very frustrating and very dampening. It dampens the mood when we know we basically had it in the palm of our hand and we let it slip and we let them back in. But we still got a grip on it.
When you put in such a dominant performance, you go 3-0 up in the first leg and the game's going the way it's going, it should be a party atmosphere and a carnival atmosphere in the stadium right now. And the reality is people are streaming out because they know that we should have put this game on beyond all doubt. And usually in a semi-final, if you win the first leg 3-1, you'll be in a jubilant mood.
Yeah.
But it's not the same case this time around.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm not unhappy. It's just frustrating, and annoying that we've allowed them back in. And look, everyone was saying in the Frankfurt game we have to win by a goal or two because Frankfurt have a great home record, and we went there and we won. So now's the time to do the same thing and have that same mentality and go there and get the job done and go to Bilbao. We've got one hand there. We need to just make sure we go there and get the job done in Bodo.
We need to get 1 foot there as well.
Just quickly touch on the other semi-final. United winning 3-0 in Bilbao.
Bilbao going down to 10 men. That's I think United are in the final. I mean, look, I think it's possible for Bilbao to overturn it in the second leg. It is possible. It's not like beyond completely all doubt because we know the way Man United like to give up leads. But it does seem that Man United are got 1 foot in the final. So if we get there, it's probably going to be Manchester United. Another European final against an English club.
Yeah, which is, some say a daunting prospect, some say it's a tie they wanted, but to beat Bilbao in Bilbao 3-0, I've got to say, impressive. I know they were down to 10 men, but fair play to United. So
it was 1-0, I think, when they were down to 10 men.
So it could be, maybe there are signs that they're getting their act together and we could be facing a bad time, but we got to get there first. So no point thinking about Man United until we get past this Bodo team. Next week, massive game. Everything hinges on next week.
Absolutely. So we'll be back in the studio tomorrow to all the player ratings and the match review and all that. But thank you everyone for joining us. Like, subscribe, comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.